Hello, this is Brian Rezny, President of Rezny Wealth Management, bringing you an important update about the economy and the investment markets. Well, Jerome Powell spoke yesterday, and he indicated really kind of a stance in potential change on the increases of interest rates. What Jerome Powell essentially said is it looks like inflation is starting to clearly roll over, which we've talked about for the last 4 or 5 months as we get into the end of this year and into the beginning of next year. So we are seeing signs of inflation substantially rolling over. You're seeing some weakening in the job market. And really his stance going forward said probably in December they're gonna either A, pause raising interest rates or hold rates steady for some time to see how inflation plays out. So could they raise rates a little bit? Could they slow the pace of raising those rates? Could they hold rates steady? These are essentially a lot of the signs that he was giving tell us that they're seeing some of the inflationary pressures coming off or abating. And that means they'll probably slow down the pace of interest rate increases or the percent that they're actually doing. Again, this is net positive for the overall economy long term. This year's been a turbulent year. As always, I try to explain to every investor, volatility is normal. Emotional decisions around your portfolio are always a poor decision to make. So we like what we see as we get into year end. We feel we are properly positioned in our portfolio. We're starting to add longer maturity bond positions back into our portfolios simply because if rates are not going to be going up much more, we really have the opportunity as we get into next year sometime, as I've stressed before, that the Fed can actually start reducing rates again once the economy stabilizes on the inflation front, starts to weaken, it kind of wash and repeat the interest rate cycle again. All investments go through cycles. They don't go straight up, they don't go straight down, and every single year, remember, you're not going to make 10% on your money. Some years you might be down 10%. Some years you might be up 20, but volatility is going to be normal, and you have to accept that. So if you look at a rolling 3 to 5 year time frame, in our opinion, investors will be happy when you allow the process to work its way, even through bouts of volatility or uncertainty. One of the things I've always talked to every one of our clients about is learn from others' mistakes. I talk about this on my radio and TV show all the time. So let me give you a little education today. We lost a client. Yep, Rezny Wealth Management lost a client back in October. Let me tell you the story so you can learn from that client's mistake that cost them dearly. Everybody remembers COVID of 2020. January 1st, this particular client, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this hypothetical, because everything I'm going to talk about is going to be on hypothetical terms and numbers because we're so regulated. So just remember, this is all hypothetical, but you'll learn from others' mistakes. That's the best way to save yourself a lot of money. So this hypothetical client, January 1st, let's say had $2.1 million under our management. COVID hit. We had a phone call, email, talked to this particular client, very distraught. He and his wife, I believe, were subscribing to various newsletters that really were kind of a one-sided kind of approach to looking at the economies and the investment markets. I'm not exactly sure what they were reading. But again, they reacted to this in a negative way. He told me that I didn't know what I was talking about, that the world was coming to an end, that the markets were going to drop 80 to 90% from what he's reading, and he wanted to go to cash with his $2.1 million. And I stressed, you're making the biggest financial mistake of your life. But I'll tell you what, I'll let you do this once in our relationship because I want you to learn that what you're doing is going to be financially devastating to your wealth. So lo and behold, the call to go to cash was pretty darn close, probably within a week of the market bottoming in 2020. This particular hypothetical client, again, I'm going to use the word hypothetical for talking purposes, went to cash, and I explained to this client, when you want us to remanage your money, you let us know when you want to go back and invest it properly. We got a phone call in September of 2020. Client apologized, made a big mistake. He'll never let that happen again. I explained that was very costly to him, and he realized that. So by the end of the year, that $2.1 million, that let's say was in a balanced style portfolio that other hypothetical clients had similar characteristics of risk, let's say that portfolio in 2020 was up 19%. That client lost 3% because he basically got back into the market after it already recouped most of its or all of its loss and was really going to new high ground. So again, sell at the bottom, buy at the top is essentially what this client did. Huge financial mistake. In the year of 2020, that cost that hypothetical portfolio, those bad decisions, emotional, $450,000 of actual money. That's a lot of money. So let's fast forward to October of this year. We get a phone call into the office. The client alerts my staff that him and his wife do not agree on our strategy and how we manage money, and they want to move their account and liquidate their account. This is October 6th. I'm going to put up a chart so you guys can all see the two different calls hypothetically now that this hypothetical client, so you learn from others' mistakes, made on their money. So just so you understand, from October 6th, which is really what, a couple months ago, the market has rallied from this hypothetical client wanted to liquidate his account and move his account from Rezny Wealth Management because his strategy he felt was better than ours. The market's up 12%. So imagine you got $2 million and you just lost a 12% return on $2 million. How much is that? Let's round it down to $200,000. So if you lost $450,000 of real return in 2020, and hypothetically you just lost another $200,000, that's $650,000. But this hypothetical client said he didn't agree with our money management, our strategy around what was currently going on. Folks, the one thing I will stress is this. At Rezny Wealth Management, we want to teach you so you can learn from others' mistakes. They will be less costly to you. We spend a lot of time in money managing money. We do not put emotion in our decision making, and I know there's times where your portfolio is down 10 or 15 or 20% and nobody likes it. But if you're like that hypothetical client, think about how much money you've permanently lost. You'll never get that money back. So you either manage your money properly, you accept normal volatility, it's part of the investment process. Stop reading crazy stuff on the internet. Stop subscribing to propaganda type newsletters. Don't let your personal political beliefs react and make decisions on your portfolio or your life. I know you might not like the current president, or maybe you do, but making decisions off your political beliefs, your emotional decision making, fear, greed, all these different things will wreak havoc on your money. There's a Delbar study. Delbar's been out for over 30 years. They look at investment returns, they look at investor returns. The average investor makes half of what the markets make, whether bond or stock market related, because of emotional decisions, chasing what was previously hot, selling low, buying high. So learn from others' mistakes. In our opinion, you'll be a wealthier investor. Our goal at Rezny Wealth Management is to properly manage your money, keep the emotion part out of it, watch the major risk, make portfolio changes as necessary, and also educate you from others' mistakes so our clients can continue on the correct path of money management and real success in your retirement and longevity. Make sure you have yourself a safe and profitable day. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, please call the office. We are always here for every one of our clients. Have a profitable day.